Hi, welcome back to the Blissful Heart channel. I am Desiree Lee, and I'm here to give you your weekly Bliss Fix, a new moon in Scorpio reading to reveal all of our shadows and dark aspects. Hi, welcome back to my channel, to all of my subscribers, and for anybody that's new, I do weekly readings revealing our new and full moon energy, spiritual guidance for your soul, and I also do pick-a-cards as well, and I'm getting ready to do more. Happy Halloween, by the way. Happy Hallows Eve. Happy Samhain, I believe it's pronounced. I'm revealing my dark self today for you. We are definitely confronting some very, very deep shadow stuff going on right now, preparing us to move through into a rebirth energy, really. We're in a super amazing and intense transformation, and I always like to just point out to people, you know, however intense these shadow aspects are that you're going through right now means that you're going to be that much like lighter, or that much, I hate making it like a matter of high and low because that's not really what it is, but you're going to be that much deeper into a light energy, right? It's always like evenly balanced, right? So just know that whatever you're processing, if you can get yourself to work through it and heal it, then you're going to be feeling that much greater once this energy passes. And you want to look at it as like a portal or an opportunity of transformation, right? This is an opportunity, and I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but it definitely is. And I can share with you that I definitely have been confronting a lot of like old personality traits that I used to live with as a pessimist, and as somebody that was suffering with depression and anxiety, and still in denial about my psychic gifts, which were tormenting me. So, you know, if you're young and you're, you know, watching readings and you're trying to figure out where you're at, just know that the process of coming into your gifts can be a slow one, and that's okay. But the sooner you can move out of a resistance with it, and that doesn't mean that you go out to the public and tell everyone, hey, I'm psychic, you know, but with yourself and maybe some of your really true, dear friends that you can trust and you know they won't freak out. But, you know, at least with yourself, just being like, okay, I have these gifts. I'm going to work with them, Spirit. You know, I know that they're here as to serve in some way, shape, or form, right? And I just like to remind people that your gifts don't have to be public. Just because you know you're a psychic or an empath doesn't mean you have to suddenly, you know, be on YouTube doing readings or whatnot, you know. So just know that. So before we get deeper into this weekly breakdown of the energy, I want to shout out to all of my Patreons. Thank you so much for your $1 donation. It helps support me in a very small way, but I do appreciate it, being that I do this YouTube stuff for free every week. And, you know, I really do it because I'm passionate about it and I love it. And I love knowing that my advice is being of assistance to anyone, whether it's one person or 100 people or more. I just love being of service in that way. And it is part of my like soul work to deliver messages to the collective. And I really enjoy it. So yes, I do it for free, but obviously your donations are useful and helpful to me. Obviously, when you order a reading from me, it does assist me financially. So just putting that out there in terms of giving and receiving energy. If you suddenly come into some money, maybe throw $5 my way. You can do that through PayPal, or you can do it for $1 a month with Patreon. And I do provide a monthly timeline video to you guys in return on Patreon. So that's an exclusive Patreon content once a month you get a video that projects the timeline of the twin flame journey for twins not in union. If you are new to my channel and you like my vibe, click subscribe and share this video. You know, like if you can't donate money, you can absolutely, like, another thing that would be really helpful is to share this and help me reach more people. I just love knowing that my message is getting out to more people. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to do this reading for you. I did already pre-pull the cards with the exception of the final guidance message. Funny, I tend to forget that sometimes. But I just want to let you know, for those of you that have been feeling very challenged this week, just know that so have I. And you know, it's been really interesting. Like it's almost like there's been this weird warping of reality where it's like good, and then it's bad, and then it's positive, and then it's sad, and then it's like apathetic, and then it's joyful, and then it's, you know, angry, and then it's sad. It's been, I personally have been like every color of the rainbow. So I really do know for sure that this is about us clearing some of our deeper blocks, and even just remembering that they were a space that we were in. And just as like a quick tip before I get into the reading, the message that I received from Spirit was just like, when you're in a space of stuckness, like emotionally, to tap into gratitude and to really look at what is right and good in your life. So without further ado, let's get started. For the overall energy of this week, I pulled 3 cards. And like I do for Halloween, those of you that have been following me, this is kind of like a ritual now that I use the zombie tarot. It's kind of like a gimmicky deck, but it's fun. And yeah, I don't work with it very often, but it is cool. So we got the Fool, and we got the Knight of Swords. Yeah. And then we got Scrying Intuition. This is from the Halloween Oracle, which is something I also use during this time of year. So I thought this made a lot of sense in terms of like what's happening right now. We are in a space of rebirth and new beginnings, and the Fool can sometimes make foolish decisions. And so I do think, like, in terms of this overall energy, we are in this death rebirth cycle, okay? And we are being asked to really start to work with our intuition a little bit more, and to use it to make decisions. And there's a lot of gifts, personally, in my experience, a lot of gifts that I had repressed and said no to when I was younger because it was too intense and scary, and I didn't know how to protect myself, and I didn't know how to use them. And you know, that's a very real thing, especially when you're concerned about getting little energetic attachments to you and you don't know how to clean yourself up. And so anyway, I said no to a lot of things, and now those gifts are trying to pop back up for me, and I'm having to clear a lot of blocks with that. So it is about like kind of starting to expand our awareness, and whether it's through your intuition, like you may not be a psychic necessarily, but I do believe that every single person on this planet has certain levels of intuition and gifts in terms of tapping into their heart space and feeling what is true and feeling what is right. And so Spirit's just letting me know, like, everybody's in this space of feeling very confused, like our emotions are, you know, kind of playing with our intuition and being a little manipulative, right? We see this Knight of Swords coming through with like a lot of bravery and like confidence, right? But it is also incredibly egoic, and it lacks emotion, and it can be ruthless, and it can be strategic. So the Knight of Swords can be positive and negative. Obviously, with the Zombie Tarot, it's focusing more on the negative, but I do feel that Spirit's saying, you know, we have to tap into some of that. Like, you want to be brave, okay? And you want to attack these shadow aspects with, you know, confidence and boldness, and really just take that flashlight out and shine it in the shadows and see what it is. And not that I fully support attacking your issues or your trauma. That's not really what you want to do. And in fact, the message I got was like, embrace it and love it and listen to it and don't be afraid of it. We all have a little bit of darkness in us. Like for Halloween, I love dressing up as like villains or some sort of fierce, goddess type of character. It's one of my favorite things to do just in my lifetime and the spans of the costumes I've chosen. And I do think it's because a lot of us feel like we're unable to be that strong woman because we're so afraid of being labeled a bitch, or there's like so many really interesting issues in terms of healing the divine feminine. Okay, so I'm talking about like even a bigger aspect, but in terms of healing the divine feminine and finding that balance of like bravery and egoic confidence, and being like releasing ourselves of being judged as a bitch, but also not being a bitch, because there is a fine line between like being bold and assertive and standing up for yourself, and then also just being mean and careless and selfish, right? But so this is what that Knight of Swords is talking about, is this like, find that fierceness and, move through this pain, this confusion, like know that it is meant for you to move through, right? It is meant for you to kind of dig out the treasure and find what is there and what is buried, in you, to get in there and use your intuition. One of the things I wanted to mention with this is that when I saw it, I was like, I really actually do want a crystal ball. I would love to try scrying. I've always thought it was kind of cliche and cheesy in the beginning, but now I'm like, that would be really interesting to see if that's a gift that I have. So scrying is using some sort of reflective object like a crystal ball or a mirror, or water is also another thing, which I'm like thinking of Snow White, and I think it's in Snow White that the mirror is used a lot, not only by the Wicked Witch, but it doesn't Snow White like gaze into the water in the well. And anyway, that's interesting. That just came up right now while I was talking to you. So this idea of expanding your intuition, like I mentioned, and maybe trying a new method if this is something you're into. If you don't own an oracle deck or a tarot deck, why don't you give it a whirl? The oracle deck that I really think is an amazing like beginner deck is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Not only do I recommend this to people that ask me that question, because I think the deck is very blessed and it has a lot of beautiful, potent messages in it, but the messages are pretty direct. And then it also has some complicated artwork that you could spend some time with as well. So, sorry that was a side note, but it is connected to this idea of expanding your intuition. So, Spirit's just telling me to approach it with a little bit more curiosity and fearlessness. Obviously, you want to have a strong foundation of knowing how to protect yourself and strengthen your auric body, and also to cleanse yourself. Some super basic things, but once you have that foundation, be a little curious, and obviously avoid any dark arts, because that stuff is no joke. And I really do think that some people that play with black magic kind of think of it as like cool or something. It's legit. Like maybe you don't really understand, if you're playing with like black magic, you don't really understand how black that blackness is. But I'm just saying, word to the wise, if you happen to be curious about it, just don't open that door. Maybe it's because Halloween is coming up so soon. I don't know, but please don't, just as a word of precaution. All right, so let's move forward. We are going to look at the weekly breakdown, and I pulled 3 cards in 3 sets. So we look at the beginning part of the week, approximately the 27th, 28th, 29th maybe, and then we move forward through the week. So in the beginning part of the week, we have the Five of Wands, and this card has come up for me like 3 times in this last like 3 weeks or 2 weeks. We got the Three of Cups, and then we have 6. Autumn is my last chance. Please don't lose hope. So this Five of Wands is all about like disparity and the need to end toxic relationships. So this could be with a person, but I feel that particularly with what's going on right now, like it has been said that it's similar to a dark night of the soul energy, that this is us needing to cut ties with some of our negative belief systems about ourselves or about others, right? But, you know, like I was already going on about, like revisiting these painful parts of your past and embracing them and holding them and loving them and listening to them and hearing what that story is behind that belief system that, you know, maybe you don't feel that way anymore, you know, you moved on, but if you were that way for any period of time, let's say you were like that all through high school, that's 4 years of your life, right? So there's still an energetic memory that you want to release and free up. And so there definitely is this like sadness here. This is the early part of the week. This is like by the time you get this, which just mentioning that the brand new computer my twin got for my birthday broke. Whatever. It malfunctioned, and so we had to return it. So I'm back to rendering on my old tower, and it's taking 2 or 3 hours. So I apologize if this gets to you super late. I wanted to say that in the beginning, but I'm saying it now. Hopefully you're still here. And then the Three of Cups. I thought this was so interesting because these are very much like parallel opposites of like cutting ties, feeling sadness, feeling despair, feeling alone, and then celebration, like a tea party. The Three of Cups is always known as like this joyful experience of celebrating and being around others and, you know, being joyous. And then this autumn, what is it? Autumn is my last chance. Please don't lose hope. This is all about codependent behavior and like being, it's funny, I brought that Snow White up earlier, and this is absolutely like kind of an indirect reference to it with the apple, but you know, it is about like, I'm waiting for my prince to rescue me. I'm waiting for someone to save me. Oh my God, my life is so lonely and so terrible. Who's going to come along and make it better, you know? And it's like, nobody is. In fact, if somebody does, that's someone you might want to be concerned about because there's a pattern behavior of somebody wanting to be the hero and somebody wanting to be the victim and somebody, you know, wanting to save you and you wanting to be saved. Like, that isn't healthy. That's an unhealthy beginning for a relationship or a friendship, whatever, you know. So those are roles that you do not want to play out for the rest of your life. Okay. So this is talking about like biting into the apple and finding that sweetness, knowing that you can change your life. You don't need anybody else, and that should be exciting. Like, you have the power to do it. And this is the card that talks about practicing gratitude, which I've been getting through other cards for myself, but this card is talking about it too. And so it really, really works, okay? If you're in a space of desperation or anger or whatever it is, just stop and be like, and I always start like where it's just like a record, like, I'm grateful for my life, I'm grateful to be in a relationship with my twin, I'm grateful for where I live, I'm grateful for my dog, I'm grateful for my family, I love what I do, you know. And then like after I do a few of them that are just like, of course you should be grateful for that, then I start to really be like, wow, yeah, I am so lucky, you know. And when you start to feel that, then you like realize how petty and unimportant other things are, or how temporary they are if they're not petty. Like, sometimes it's a real reason to be super upset. I know a lot of people have been dealing with loss and trauma, so you know, my heart goes out to you. Prayers and blessings to anybody that has lost somebody. Much love to you guys. But what we're seeing here at the beginning of the week is this needing to cut ties with this lonely sadness, to realize that you are your own hero, and to celebrate that, to find joy in that. And I'm also hearing from Spirit that this new moon, once it passes, all this anguish and pain, providing that you deal with it accordingly, basically you're going to get out what you put in. Yeah, so you put in your intention, you put in your integrity, you put in that effort to be like, I'm willing to release. Tell me in a dream tonight what it is I need to do, These things work. Well, even if you don't consciously have a conversation with your spirit guides, or you don't remember your dream, intention is everything, okay? So this is the beginning of the week, and we are going to take a peek at what happens in the middle of the week, approximately the 29th and 30th. We have the 3 of Wands. We have actually 18, the moon came out first, then the 3 of Wands, and then Sea Storm 32, which is a 5. Yeah, I was looking at these numbers, and well, the Fool is a 0, but we have the 5 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, and we have the 3 of Wands, and this is 18, which is a 9, but this is a 5, 32. So we're looking at big change, and then we're also looking at celebratory energy. But so here we're seeing with the moon, I just love this Tarot de Nuit deck so much. The artwork is so beautiful. So here we're seeing this shadow aspect of self, and it's definitely come and marry is what I'm hearing from Spirit. Marry your shadow self and love him or her and embrace him or her, and don't be so afraid of those aspects of yourself that you're not bragging about. The ones that you kind of keep to yourself. And I definitely have been confronting a lot of these shadow aspects within myself, and I can say, as a recovering codependent woman who is in a very healthy relationship with my twin, that there's still a lot of healing that I'm going through. And one of them is still discovering areas where I feel like I need to hide shadow aspects that I don't think are any anger or any negative emotion. I always am still trying to, I don't like to show it so much, and obviously sometimes it comes out, but they're natural feelings that we all have. But being how I was raised, how I was taught all throughout my childhood that if I was nice and pleasant, that I would be rewarded, and that if I wasn't, I would be punished, And so I just wanted to share that with you, especially for those of you that aren't in union. Know that when you come into union, it's obviously amazing, but that there's still a lot of healing to do, and neither you nor your divine counterpart are in a perfectly healed state when you come into union. It's just that the both of you have done enough work on yourselves so that when you come together, that it will be more helpful than destructive, if that makes sense. And doing videos more about that is what I would like to do in the future. There's some other shadow stuff tied up into why I haven't done any of those things. Just so you guys know, I am working on some stuff with myself in terms of recording those educational videos. I have a lot of things tied up in that, but I'm working on it. They're not coming out because of some of my own stuff anyway. I'm not recording them because of my own insecurities. Okay, so anyway, when I do record them for you, know that I've overcome some of my own shadows, and I'm really hopeful that I'm doing it right now. And so then we see this 3 of Wands. I love this woman. She is I am brave. I am bold. I am opportunities. I get shit done. She's got like a skull in one hand and like a flame, or it's a snake in the other. Like, she is a fierce female, and she is like all about like not worrying about what people think, or not worrying about what those shadows are, like embracing all of themselves, like knowing that, like, yeah, I'm a little bit of dark, and yeah, I'm a little bit of light, and I'm still beautiful, and I'm still fierce, and I'm still worthy, you know? So again, we're seeing this connection of like this intuition and these shadow aspects, and then this bravery, right? This Knight of Swords was talking about that bravery too. Like, we need to be so fearless. And then we're also seeing that again with this sea storm, calm amid chaos. This card is like, you are in the midst of great, great change and upheaval. It is happening right now. And guess what? Anything from your old world, anything from the past is gone. And the new one is yet to be discovered, but you're in the middle of that transition. And I thought this was just like, in terms of all the cards just signifying what we're going through this week, this card says it all. Like, it says everything, right? So we are in the middle of this great chaotic change, and you are this strength. You have the strength and the ability to just wade through it. But to not, like, I feel like Spirit just keeps saying, don't hide from these shadow aspects. Because what Spirit's saying is that once you make friends with it, and you kind of go to the boogeyman and you say, hey, I'm not afraid of you. I see you, and you don't scare me, the boogeyman loses its power. And so Spirit's like, just think of that term or that concept of like, instead of hiding from it or running away from it, or, trying to suppress it or pretend like it's not there, just look at it dead on. I mean, what is the worst thing that could actually happen? And I do want to just mention that a lot of this could be revolved around any sort of addictive behavior. And I feel like a lot of people hear the word addiction and automatically think of drugs and alcohol. But it's not necessarily that. It can be an addiction to eating. It can be addiction to exercising too much. It can be an addiction to shopping, especially on Amazon, right? So anyway, it's just like, I've been thinking a lot about that in terms of like, just these little tiny things that we do to comfort ourselves to deal with this reality is really interesting. And I think that that's across the board, no matter how enlightened a human being is. Every human being finds some sort of obsession to lose themselves in. And hey, I always say, as long as it's leaning more on the healthier side, and maybe there'll be a day where you don't need any of that. I mean, in theory, if you were a full-time Kundalini practitioner, it would happen. I personally don't know that because I'm not a full-time practitioner, but maybe I'll try it out before I die in this life. All right, the tail end of the week. So we're looking at like November 1st, November 2nd. We have the Ace of Swords, mental wit, alertness, and the Page of Pentacles, which this totally looks like Elsa from Frozen. And then we have the Carnivorous Flower Fairy. A tempting offer has a price. And card 11, Dried Flower Fairy, Sweet Memories. I love Lucy Cavendish as well. Okay, so I just wanted to check the numbers. We have a 1. The page isn't really numbered. Okay. So here we're looking at this concept of like mental alertness, like having a lot of clarity, right? So it's absolutely, I just love this image too. It's like super focused and like just, I'm seeing like an open third eye, okay? So it's like not only is your own mind, the 3D experience, or our positive and negative mind, not only have you like helped kind of just clear a lot of space, which Spirit wants me to mention, like journaling every day, just like a morning, daily morning journaling, or before bed, just to kind of like just to put your thoughts on paper is a super great way to clear the mind of like that nagging thought. And obviously like doing pranayama breathing can do that as well. So you choose, like, but definitely try to set aside 3 to 5 minutes. I've done the morning pages from the Artist's Way book. A great book for anyone that's looking to try to create a consistent change in their life and find more creativity. But do like a timer of 10 minutes of morning pages every single day. And literally sometimes you'll be writing like, I'm just writing on this piece of paper. I'm just writing on this piece of paper for 10 minutes. I am writing with a pen on a piece of paper. And you do that, and eventually you actually start writing things. But anyway, it helps clear the mind, right? So here we're seeing at the end of the week a very, very clear mind with a single pointed focus. And I'm also seeing like a heightened sense of intuition and clarity, like mental prowess. So super empowered. And then with this Page of Pentacles, this is all about hope and manifestation, like creating new dreams. I feel like this is where we are going, okay? So we have all this heavy stuff to go through, but we're going to prove not only that we're strong and we're fearless, but that we're not as bad as we think we are. In fact, we're pretty amazing. And you're going to start to recognize the power of your thoughts and the power of your words. You're going to recognize how strong your intuition is. I mean, these are the two cards that really came through about the intuition. That scrying and the moon card, but I do feel like there's going to be some like up levels in our intuition, or in our like third eye consciousness, intuition, higher self connection. And yes, for some of you it might be some more like 5D traveling, where you're like working with the Akashic records and spirit guides, or possibly having some very in-depth conversations with your 5D twin. And then it's like, this is so much about manifestation. I mean, the Page of Pentacles traditionally, is very much about like having some inspired action in the material plane, so with money, career, investments, jobs, family, okay? But this card too is also talking about the power we have to manifest and create. And then this one I thought was really interesting. The Carnivorous Flower Fairy is very specific about narcissists, and to be incredibly careful about people that are coming to manipulate you. And that sometimes, I mean, what does it say on the bottom? A tempting offer has a high price. So being careful, because what I'm feeling is that some of you are going to be in a very raw state after kind of releasing all this baggage, and you're going to be feeling very optimistic and, opportunistic. And some narcissists kind of have this guise of having your best interest in mind, when in actuality they want to take advantage of and I really don't know. I honestly don't think that many narcissists realize that they're like picking up on energy and vulnerability. I think some of them do, but not all of them. But it definitely works that way, where they see somebody with a good heart and pure intentions and confidence, and they see them like really they pick up on this energy of them being like open to change and new things, and then they'll swoop in and be like, I got this deal. And I definitely like get this sense of like, it's a deal with the devil, man. Do not take a deal right away. So Spirit's just saying, like, if some new opportunities do unfold for you, just, say, that sounds so great. Can I just have like a little bit of time to think about it? Because I'm feeling like you want to wait at least until like November 15th is what I'm getting, which I think the full moon is on the 12th. but you want to wait before you make any big contractual decisions anyway, okay? And then we also got, the 2 cards came out. I only wanted to pull one, but they both came out, and I do think that it's for a specific reason. This card here, the Dried Flower Fairy, card 11, which we love that number. I love it. It's all about like sweet memories and, things like rainbows or a shining star or old photos, things that maybe you see frequently, but you don't really, you kind of take it for granted even, but I'm feeling like there's going to be old sweet memories that you had when you were a child and you were more vulnerable and excited about life and you believed in magic, I feel like there's going to be some memories coming up for you that you're going to be filtering through all of the painful memories and the garbage that we're releasing, right? And forgiving and saying thank you for your service to me. Thank you for helping me be as strong and independent as I am, Thank you for that valuable lesson and giving me some depth and some passion and some appreciation for not having that in my life anymore, but also finding some nuggets of gold, and Spirit's saying like that these little nuggets that you're going to find in the pain is also going to help kind of direct you into the space of feeling light again and feeling love. So I am hearing forgiveness. I am hearing memories of like painful memories, possibly with a father or another family member. But Spirit saying that it's okay that you still love someone that has hurt you. It's okay maybe that you still have some happy moments with them in a field of shit moments. There's a couple of really positive ones. There's some mushrooms growing under some of that cow shit that are transcendental. That just came through for me. Sorry, I thought that was hilarious. Too funny not to share with you. So I think that's important to hear that, because I think that especially if you've had like an abusive or super unhealthy relationship, maybe with an ex-boyfriend or your dad or somebody else, it's like, I think a lot of people feel like I shouldn't love them, I should hate them, or wow, that one thing they did was cool, but they're still assholes, and I'm not going to appreciate that one thing because they're pieces of shit, So Spirit's saying like, it's okay to appreciate some of the positive things, and you can trust that you're not going to, bring any of that negativity back into your life by appreciating a certain tiny fragment of that memory that was positive for you. So it's a little complex, yeah, but I do feel like there's some valuable lessons around signs for narcissists, and Spirit's also saying that the signs. Don't let it make you walk around afraid of being taken advantage of, because you would never let that happen to yourself ever again. So let me get this final message out to us. I know this has been a long one today, but whatever, whatever is natural. All right. Final guidance message. They want me to pull from the Crystal Deva and the Kyle Grays. So, Angels of Truth, Love, and Light, what is the final guidance message you would like to give to the collective before we sign off here? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sunstone, Empowerment. And I don't think I have that one. The one thing about this deck is it's super cool because you learn about stones, more about stones you have, or you learn about stones you want, but then you want a lot of stones. Angels of Truth, Love, and Light, what is your final guidance message you would like to deliver the collective for this new moon in Scorpio reading? 2 cards. We got Master Jesus, Forgiveness, and Lady Venus, Downloads and Understanding. Master Jesus says that you are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness Father, healing is possible at this time. And that's what I was seeing with the narcissistic energy and the dried flower fairy. These two cards I was talking about, Father, healing. So that must be a big ding ding for most of us. And then Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven in the astral realm. And that is what I was saying about heightening our intuition and being able to walk in that 5D plane. Now, I am going to get the book out for the Sunstone. So pretty. I think I need that. That is one of my little addictions, is tarot decks and crystals. I mean, you feel me? Okay, so the magic of Sunstone is upon you today. Breathe in this powerful energy, filling every cell of your being. The medicine of this crystal is all about encouraging you to step fully into your power in all aspects of life. It draws in the energy of the sun, a powerful, dynamic energy, source of transformation, and assists you to align deeply to your own self-empowerment. Hell yeah. Activates rebirth. Wow. Dissolves frustration in your life. Yes, the Devas of Sunstone had a ride in your world today to share the next part of your journey with you. They are here to assist you and encourage you to step fully into your power on all levels. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, yes, yes. I am so excited about this. You may have been feeling a lack of energy, direction, and clarity in your life, which can be a sign that you are giving over your power. It is now time to let go and heal whatever has held you back from embracing your full potential and power. If you have been sitting on the sidelines, it is now a perfect time to dance into your own light. You are encouraged to listen to your own intuition, and if you have been compromising yourself due to fear of others' rejections, you are being encouraged to stop the self-sabotaging behavior. It is time for you to speak up for what you believe in, and as you step further into your power, you will know exactly what to say and how to say it in a diplomatic and compassionate way. Know that you are a strong and empowered person, which, I mean, we saw so much of that today with the Three of Wands and the Knight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, definitely. Okay, the world needs people like you to step up and shine your light. Work closely with Sunstone because this medicine will assist you greatly in dissolving any fears that may hold you back from truly awakening your own personal power, allowing you to shine in your own magnificence. I am so happy to be delivering this message to you and to be hearing it because I'm ready for that. And I know you are too. So thank you so much for watching this entire video. And I hope that it was a joyful experience for you, that you were just relaxing and allowing the message to resonate with you in whatever way it does. And I hope you all have a very empowered and transformational week, and that you're able to have the strength and the courage to confront those fears and those pains within. Sending you so many blessings, love, and light. Mwah.